We've been living next to a murderer for a year.
And this is not clickbait.
Do we have a story for you?
You guys are not ready for this. And it's really freaking sad.
And weird and like just WTF in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had no idea we were living next to this woman. And
there were multiple dead bodies in her house.
Each in their own rooms. And that's just so bizarre to me that we've been living next to her. So before we start and get into the video, we just wanna say, give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, turn on post notifications, and leave a comment down below about maybe some weird neighbor instances you've had.
Yeah.
Or
roommate situations, neighbor situations, anything crazy.
And your opinion on this story.
Yeah.
Because it's really freaking crazy.
Mm-hmm. So basically, we have had the same, so we live across from each other.
One house down.
Yeah. So it's basically who's across from Emily, who's straight across from Emily, and then like who's next to me. So we were really excited about new neighbors because we like new neighbors. I don't know, we thought there was going to be a hot boy there, so we like staked out. We were like, who's moving in? And then it turned out to be this woman.
Mm-hmm. Just one woman.
Mm-hmm.
No one else.
Just one woman. And she moved in like...
into this house with a pool and stuff. And it was like a big house. Not like a big house, but there was a few rooms in the house.
Yeah, like it's not something...
And it had like a pool, so it just seemed
person.
like... Yeah, it just seemed like a weird buy for one woman.
Mm-hmm.
Single woman to buy.
When did she move?
It was in July about it.
Really?
End of July.
Keep in mind, she moved in July and it is now May. And I have seen her outside probably like less than 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Like we never see her outside.
I've seen like her car. I've never seen her outside, but I've seen her car drive by like once or twice. So, and we also knew the seller of the house. Her mother knew the seller of the house, and she paid for the down payment of the house in complete cash, which is just kind of weird because that's still a lot of money, and to buy that in complete cash is just...
Especially because she was all alone.
All alone. So it's not like it was like split between 2 people in cash. But yeah, so she bought this house, and then we were like, okay, we're going to go bake her some cookies, and then we'll come over, and we had her mom with us, and we were just going to go introduce ourselves.
So we went over there to bring her cookies. Me and Emily were like pumped. We were like, let's go give her cookies. Let's go meet our new neighbor.
Let's be nice neighbors.
And then we're like, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Nobody.
Nobody said that because nobody opened the door.
Nobody
and
answered.
There were lights on inside, like one light in the kitchen.
So we were like, she's in there, but she's not coming out.
You know, she's not coming out. And so we rang the doorbell one more time. You know, ding, ding.
Ding, ding.
And nobody came out.
We ate the cookies by ourselves. You know.
They weren't good cookies.
No.
We kind of just gave up at that point, you know, of trying to introduce ourselves to her because, you know, the lights were on, she was home, and we got the sense she didn't want to be friends with us. So one day, her mom, you can tell the story because I don't really know the story very well.
Well, my mom didn't tell me she was going to go, but she just left with my little brother to go bring her cookies. And
this was a separate instance.
Yeah, a different day. So they went over there, brought her cookies. They were like, here, welcome to the neighborhood. We baked you some cookies. And she was like, thanks. That's all she said. Like, she shut the door. It was super weird. My mom said, like, they didn't have a conversation. Like, she was just super weird, and she only opened the door like a little bit so they couldn't see inside of her house, just like a little crack. And then they left, and we never saw her outside. We never talked to her again.
Never saw her. Just her little Galaxy, literally her car was Galaxy painted, driving by every once in a while. I think I've seen it twice now, unless it was in her driveway. It's just kind of bizarre, but we just got the feeling she didn't want to necessarily make friends, so we never really pursued that anymore. None of our parents did.
And also I saw her one time outside with 2 dogs, and they were on a leash. And she also told my mom that the first time they met, she said that she's getting an invisible fence in. That's why there's so many people over, because there are people in the yard. We knew that she had 2 dogs, or dogs, so, and then we saw her 2 dogs in the yard one day. But that's the only time I ever saw her 2 dogs again. And then, so yeah, we just knew she had 2 dogs. We never saw the dogs outside.
Fast forward to a week and a half ago, my mom was on a walk in the neighborhood, and so basically, if you guys don't know what Coburn's is, I think it's kind of local to Minnesota. It's basically just a grocery store, and they do deliveries for people who so choose to have their groceries delivered to their house. So she had Coburn's deliveries, and my mom's on a walk and she noticed there was like a few of these boxes, like 5 of them just stacked up near her door.
Like 6.
Yeah, and so my mom was a little concerned, so she went up, knocked on the door. Nobody answered. She looked inside the boxes. There was still food in them, spoiled, and they were from like 2-3 weeks ago. So my mom's initial like concern is this woman okay? Because she kept to herself the entire time. Nobody would really know if she was dead or missing or not okay. And so my mom called the police station and she called in a wellness check, and then the police went out there and they couldn't get in through the front door and they couldn't really get in at all, but then they went over and talked to her mom.
Actually, okay, so there's one policeman and then a woman, another police officer came, and my mom took my dog outside, so then, you know, they talked to her or something so she could find out what's going on. They were talking, and the police officer was like, when's the last time you saw her? And my mom's like, to be honest, I never see her. I talked to her one time, and I've seen her probably like a couple of times in her yard, not even just like outside her door. He was still trying to get in the house. I think when the female officer came in, they got in the back door.
They found the back door unlocked. In the police report, they basically said, the police said that when they first walked into the house, like they could smell basically death. Like it smelled so bad. And it also, like, the house was a pigsty, like she was a hoarder. And
it was really bad.
It's just like how they described it. It sounded really, really bad. And so when they first walked in, their first like thought was, well, geez, this woman's dead, you know, like it smells horrible in here. So they went inside and then they didn't find her at all, but so there was 5 rooms, and in each room, you know, it's
this is so sad.
And in each of those 5 rooms.
Did you go into the room did you go into the house when it was on the market?
Yeah.
So you know exactly how, me too. I just can't like imagine.
Because when it was our neighbor's house, and when it was on the market, we like went inside and we were like looking at it with the open house. And so we kind of know the layout. So there was quite a few rooms in the house. And so there were 5 rooms, and in each 5 rooms there was 1 animal. There was 1 cat, and then a total of 4 dogs. 3 of the
cats.
Oh, there was 2 cats?
2 cats.
There was 2 cats, so there was 6 animals then. In each individual room there was an animal out there. What the animals that the police officers could save was a dog and a cat. Other than that, 3 dogs and 1 cat all starved to death, surrounded by their own feces in one of these rooms.
And one of which was a little 10-week-old puppy. Back in October, she got him, and then like.
And this was in the police report.
Yeah, a couple
like
weeks later.
She admitted to this.
A couple weeks later, the puppy died, and.
Because
she just left it in the room.
She claimed she didn't have a yard, but she had a yard. She must have been referring to the invisible fence. And then, of course, the puppy started pooping in there, and then it started smelling bad, so she didn't want to go and take care of it. And then eventually, a few weeks later, like 2 weeks later probably, the puppy died. And it started smelling like death in that room, and she never went in to take care of it. And then she got another dog, and then another dog, and another dog, and then 2 cats, and then she did the same thing for all of them. She just did not take care of them. She admitted to neglecting them. She murdered these 4 animals, and almost killed 2 animals.
And it's weird because, like, I never heard a dog bark one time. And, like, they were probably, like, starving the whole time. Like, they were so weak, and...
They probably couldn't bark. They were too weak, which is just so... Like, it's so hard.
She just, like, kept them trapped in a room without food sometimes, probably a lot, and...
Probably most of the time she didn't want to go in there.
She didn't clean up the poop. She didn't do anything. She just let them die in there.
And what makes me mad is, and I'll sound like the complete vegan here, but she admitted to this, and 2, she literally, the 4 souls died, starved to death, and suffered due to her hands, and then 2 more were near death because of her, and she continued to do this, and she's only getting a maximum of 2 years in prison and or $5,000 fine. So she could be stuck with just a $5,000 fine and left to go live her life after this, which makes me angry because if those were people and she starved them in her home, she would be facing life in prison.
Yeah.
And that just makes me very angry personally because I see us as all the same, like our lives all mean the same. And then in addition to that, it's like if that was a pig or something, you know, if someone were to kill their pet pig or something, it's not the same. And even in addition to that, like we torture animals every single day, thousands of animals just for food, but that's legal. I'm
putting in that picture of that cartoon.
We found a cartoon from like probably like a comic or something.
Fisher.
Ellen
Fisher. It was on one of her videos.
And it's like right here.
It basically is
the truth. We don't see a difference between different things on their lives.
And it's weird to think that, I don't know, we think she's a murderer because she is, but then like people eat other animals at the same time.
So a lot of you probably thought we put our thumbnails clickbait. My personal opinion, it was not clickbait.
She did murder.
She murdered 4 innocent lives. That's horrifying to me that she was living right next door to us and we never knew that. So I mean, you never know who is your neighbor.
After that, I was leaving to go to her house, I think, and I just see her walking into her house, and like I just wanted to so badly just
put her in jail.
Like she shouldn't be allowed to walk the streets right now. She should be locked up right now. Make me so mad.
She killed 4 people.
I don't want her to be right next to us right now.
If she killed 4 people, she wouldn't have had as low of a bail, which means she would have still been behind bars. But I mean, that's just
there's anything from the article that I can read.
That's just how our society works.
This is the police report. A 34-year-old Minnesotan woman was charged with animal cruelty after admitting to neglecting multiple pets by locking them in rooms and starving them to death. When officers arrived, they found boxes of clearly spoiled Coburn's delivery foods dated April 17th sitting on the front steps, the ones that her mom found. Police saw through a window that the house was a mess with garbage everywhere. When no one answered the front door, officers found an unlocked patio door in the back. When they opened the door to announce their presence, they immediately smelled a strong odor of a rotting carcass.
They originally thought that the woman was dead. Police found 1 dog alive in the master bedroom and called the number on the dog's tag, which led them to, and then her name, but we won't say it. She told police the pets were hers and admitted to having a hoarding issue. She knew 2 dogs and a cat had died, but didn't know a 4th pet had passed away as well. And that's because she didn't go home to her house because it was so messy. And
it smelled so bad.
It smelled like death.
So I don't know where she was going, and I don't know how she bought that house, but...
If convicted, she faces up to 2 years in prison and a $5,000 or a $5,000 fine.
She told investigators she bought a puppy in October, but kept it locked in a room because she did not have a yard and did not want the puppy to get out. She stopped going into the room because of the smell, and the puppy ultimately died about 3 weeks after she bought it. The other pets that died were also kept in locked rooms.
If I was a police officer, I don't even know how, I think I would like sob if I walked into that crime scene. Then after that, they came out and they talked to her mom again.
And she said,
do you want me to let you know if we see her come by?
And the officer was like, oh no, she's not coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, she came back.
So my mom was like, she's dead. She's definitely
dead. That's what we all thought. And then we found out all this other stuff the following morning.
Found out 4 things.
And then it confuses me because the police officer's like, you're not going to see her anytime soon, but like you saw her the next day and a half later walking into her home. So that was our story time.
Sad story time.
Yeah, about our crazy neighbor.
So hopefully she doesn't see this.
If she does, please don't lock me in a room. Okay, that's mean.
If you do see this, please don't
get any more animals. I mean, she's not legally allowed to have any animals anymore, but like seriously, don't buy any animals. You should have learned your lesson after the first one. Thank you for watching. I want to say like I hope you enjoyed, but like I don't know. I don't want you to enjoy this story.
I hope you found it interesting, and then if you ever feel sketchy about a neighbor, it's okay to feel sketchy. Something might be going on in there.
Something might be going on. Don't necessarily look into it because like, you know.
Yeah.
But just keep an eye for like some Coburn's delivery boxes. Maybe you can catch it sooner.
Her mom essentially saved 2 animals because she called in. Yeah, Mary Jo! Give this video a like if you want us to do more storytime videos.
Keep going.
Subscribe to our channel and make sure you comment down video ideas that we're like bouncing.
Comment down video ideas, comment down your opinion on this story, comment down your other crazy, anything. Comment down your crazy neighbor stories, anything you want. Our social media is in the description, my Spotify's in the description, and have an amazing day or night. I don't know when you're, or morning, I don't really know when you're watching this, so
yeah.
Peace out.